Hi, welcome along to DR Sports. Manchester United active again in the transfer market. They've been very busy this summer. Their latest signing, Manuel Ugarte, he has signed on from PSG. It was information that was broken today by Fabrizio Romano, who said that Manuel Ugarte's camp has already approved a 5-year contract at Manchester United with an option of a further year. Paris Saint-Germain will have a sell-on clause included in the package worth 50 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons. Another expensive acquisition for Manchester United, and they've really been busy in the transfer market this summer. And listen, if you're a United fan, you'll understand why. They didn't have a good season last year, despite the fact that they won the FA Cup. That did kind of paper over the cracks of their league form. And to do better in this league, you need better players. It's a simple equation. And Manchester United have certainly, made a statement of their intent by some of the signings that they've made this summer. They've also offloaded some of the players that they thought have been underperforming. So I thought in this video, we take a little look at the signings that Manchester United have made. Are they going to be the signings that move the needle for Manchester United? I don't think there's any United fans that are realistically looking this season and saying they're going to win the league, but certainly they want to get back into the top four. And to get into the top four, as I said, you need better players, because last season in the league, it was very poor from Manchester United. So Ugarte on the way in. Strong defensive midfielder who can play in various positions around the midfield. Uruguay international, really considered a top player, although he didn't have a very good time of it at PSG, hence one of the reasons why they've been willing to move him on. But a positive signing for them, and a lot of United fans will look at it and say it's an upgrade on Scott McTominay, who they have sold and is on his way out, and is already gone out and gone to Napoli. And part of that money is what is funded this move for Ugarte. Remember, they also moved on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's gone to West Ham for 15 million. And coming the other way, you could say, has been Nazir Mazraoui, who's made a good start, I have to say, for Manchester United. He's looked a very, very good player. Bought in from Bayern Munich for 17.1 million. So a good replacement there. Mazraoui, a bit more adaptable than a Wan-Bissaka. We all know that Wan-Bissaka in one-on-one defending is really, really good. But United want somebody who can get up and down that pitch in the, a bit more technical, as well as being a good defender. And that Mazraoui so far has looked a really, really decent player. They've also brought in a couple of defensive players in the centre-back position. Matthias de Ligt, a very expensive acquisition from Bayern Munich. But remember, a couple of seasons ago, he was considered one of the best centre-backs in world football. Brought into Bayern Munich for a colossal fee. United have taken a bit of a gamble on this because de Ligt has not really performed for the last couple of seasons. But they brought him in for £42.7 million. And of course, it's a player that the manager knows. They also made the signing of Leny Yoro from Lille, paid £58.9 million for him. So again, expensive. But Leny Yoro seen as, one of the sort of young stars of football, especially in that centre-back position. Unfortunately for Manchester United, he's injured already and he's going to be out for a couple of months. So they're not going to get to see the best of him for a few months. And, very unfortunate for Manchester United that he's got injured. And Joshua Zirkzee, who they bought in from Bologna. He had a great season at Bologna last year, scored goals. He's that sort of striker that is able to drop deep. He scored in his debut for Manchester United. A bit unfortunate in the Brighton game, getting that little deflection which stopped them from getting that goal that would have made it 2-1. But again, seen as a very good acquisition for £38.5 million. So nearly £200 million spent by Manchester United this season. Has it been money well spent? That is the question. That is the thing that, everybody would like to know. Has it been money well spent? On top of that, it doesn't look like the spending has possibly ended for Manchester United, because it's been reported by the Daily Telegraph that Manchester United have opened talks with Raheem Sterling over a deal. But that deal can only happen if they swap him with Jadon Sancho. This is what the Telegraph are saying. Sancho, despite what Erik ten Hag says, they want to offload him. They want to get him out. He hasn't figured yet for Manchester United, and they'd be willing to do a swap deal with Sancho going one way and Sterling coming the other. Interesting to see if that one happens, especially the fact that Sterling's played for Liverpool and he's also played for Manchester City. For him to end up at Man United, that'd be a crazy one. But that is a possibility, according to the Daily Telegraph. So, has it been a good window? I'm looking at some of the outgoings for Manchester United. Alvaro Fernandez to Benfica for 5.1 million. Of course, Mason Greenwood, who was still on their books, 26.6 million. He went to Marseille. Willy Caballa went to Villarreal, 9.6 million. Donny van der Beek, remember him? Expensive acquisition. He's gone to Girona for 7.6 million. They've had a host of players that they've released. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, as I said, 15 million to West Ham. Pellistri, he went to Panathinaikos for 6.8 million. And Will Fish to Cardiff for 2 million. So lots of outgoings, but incomings is what I'd like to ask fans out there, and particularly United fans. Is this going to be enough to get United into the top four? Yoro, Xerxes, De Ligt, Mazzarri, and now Ugarte. Is that enough to move the needle? And if they get Raheem Sterling in, does that say to you that that's enough to get Manchester United into the top four? Indifferent start for United, as we know. Won their first game at home to Fulham, lost away from home again. This was their Achilles heel last season to Brighton. Still early in the season, you can't go crazy on judging the first two games. But those signings, is it enough? Personally, when I look at United's team, that's a strong side. That's a strong side now. I don't personally think Erik ten Hag can have any excuses for not getting Manchester United into the top four this season. And I think that he has to get them into the top four this season to keep his job, or unless he was to say win the Europa League and get them in there that way. But I really do feel that he has the tools to get them into the top four now. They've strengthened the defence with De Ligt coming in. Still got Maguire. Yoro's going to come back. So, they've still got Martinez. Dalot, Mazzarri, that's a good defence. Ugarte coming into the midfield, that strengthens it. And up front, Xerxes coming. I think, when you add that to the players that he already has, your Garnachos, your Rashfords, Bruno Fernandes, their starting 11 is strong. Manchester United should be able to get into the top four with that lineup. But it's going to be what the manager does with the team that he has. Is it strong enough for you guys? Want to hear from you guys in the comments. But for me, that should be strong enough. But we're going to get to see just how good the new look Manchester United are, because they're up against Liverpool this weekend. Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford. Big test for Erik ten Hag. Can he bounce back after that, shock defeat at Brighton? And as I said, excuses are less and less now. I don't think United fans are going to want to hear excuses. Nearly £200 million spent. He's got a lot of his players in. What is he going to do? It's going to be really interesting. Once again, I want to hear your comments on it. Are United strong enough with the signings they've made so far to get into the top four? Yes or no? Let me know. But going to be an interesting season for Manchester United fans.